What are you doing about the crime problem in Davenport, just 2 houses down from where you're shooting the movie?
Well, in a situation like that, we're working very closely with the law enforcement officials and alleviating the problem.
Does the movie's producer know about this?
They're aware of it, yes.
What's his reaction?
Well, there are logistical problems on any film set, and this is just one of those. It's just part of doing business.
Do you think this will hurt Iowa's chances to attract movies in the future? You know, I'm sure one of the things you talk about is what a nice, safe state this is, and here we've got gang wars going around a movie set in Davenport.
Yeah, and Iowa is one of the safest states as far as crime goes, and no, it won't have any effect at all.
Why should John Q. Public care about whether or not, I mean, sure there's something glamorous about movies coming to Iowa, but, you know, doesn't the state have more pressing needs in terms of helping children in poverty rather than spending money on the film office?
It's a very good question, and the monies that are spent by filmmakers go to those people in need. The millions of dollars they spend here when they're filming a motion picture get diversified out very quickly throughout the community. So those people, in fact, do benefit.
Isn't that gang violence problem over in Davenport going to jeopardize the movie that's going to be shot there? I mean, is it even safe to shoot a movie in Davenport?
Well, I think that, you know, violent crime is a problem in every area and affects every business. One of the things that we've done is we've begun to work very closely with the local law enforcement agencies to make sure that that's not an interruption for our clients when they're working there in the Davenport area.
You know, the whole concept of the film office in Iowa just seems so frivolous. I mean, why do we need a film office? They shoot movies in Hollywood.
Well, that's a very good question, and that's the attitude that a lot of people have had for a great number of years. For years, you and I would go to the same movies over and over again, and we'd see the same location shot within 30 miles of Los Angeles. And what's happened is our audience has gotten tired of seeing the same things. They never believed in those locations. They never believed that the stories could actually take place. And what's happened is the motion picture industry has elevated itself to a higher level of integrity. And by that, they're bringing their films away from Hollywood, away from those areas that are overshot, onto real locations with real people. And what happens is everybody benefits that way. We end up with a situation where the filmmaker has a much better product that he can show. The audience enjoys the film much more because they can become part of the film and they can believe in that location more and they can identify more with that. And the local economy benefits from the literally millions of dollars that are left when a motion picture company comes and films in a particular area.
Well, whenever they come and shoot movies in Iowa, all they ever do is take pictures of farm. Isn't that just perpetuating our hick image across the country?
Well, that's not true. As a matter of fact, we've had a great many motion pictures that have had everything but farm locations. For example, the motion picture Starman. We had another picture titled Fist. We had another picture, Take This Job and Shove It. And there have been many, many others that have not been associated with rural agriculture. However, agriculture in Iowa is something that we have. We have the most beautiful farms and farmlands in the world, and that's something we should be very proud of and promote. So I think that the image we're portraying is very good for the American public.
Why don't you shoot any movies in Des Moines?
Well, a lot of that is determined by the filmmaker, what the filmmaker wants and looks for. And certain towns need to mature visually until they're ripe for the certain scripts that are being produced at a particular time. For example, Dubuque, Iowa has had a lot of films in the recent past because of the architectural integrity of that town. Now that's undergoing some changes right now, and that will affect the filmmaking there. Des Moines is an interesting town with the fact that the skywalks are running through it. It's not as large as some other cities, but it's coming. And I think once it matures just a little bit more visually, the films will quite definitely be here.
Well, does the state have anything to say about what movies are shot here? I mean, aren't you just opening Pandora's box? What if they start shooting pornographic movies here? I mean, we don't want that.
Well, that's a real good question. And when I first started with the film office, so about 7 years ago, that was a concern of mine. And I did some research into it, and I discovered that that type of project is shot in basically 6 days, and the average budget is $25,000. They're filmed in the areas where the production companies are located. They can't afford to come on location to Iowa or really anywhere else, so that's really not a consideration for us.